I didn't talk about it because I didn't know that it was going to be public, and I didn't want to, like, I don't know, if something happens privately, it should stay privately. It's not my business to be talking about things publicly, right? So we were at this after party at the Streamer Awards, and it was pretty good. There was some tasty food. The alcohol was not good. Like, the bartenders were not making great drinks, but that's neither here nor there. The TLDR is that one person got incredibly intoxicated and they had to be removed from the premise. Their friend called 911. And the party had to be shut down because that was considered public disturbance. So when the fire trucks and the fucking ambulances came by, that was considered a public disturbance and the party had to be shut down. Luckily for me, like, I was glad that the party was shut down. Not like, I was sad for Cutie because she spent her own money to host a party that nobody asked or deserved a party necessarily. If anything, she's the one who deserved a party. But I was happy because I was leaving right as the party got shut down. So I didn't get any FOMO because I was like, oh man, I'm leaving at like 11:30 and this party's supposed to be going for like until like 2 a.m. Oh man, well, it is what it is. And as soon as I leave, the party gets shut down. I'm like, yes, sick. I don't get to experience FOMO. Yes, I didn't miss out on anything because everyone left. And then it turns out that they just went to a bunch of venues to try and like find a new place to go to. Then they didn't find anywhere. So yeah, it was great. Oh, shucks, it's my bedtime. It literally was. Denim leaves, party sucks, immediately ends. That would be really sick, dude. It would be really sick. If that was the truth, that would be sick. XQC talked about many people getting baited and creating a constant cycle of walking up and down the stairs. Yeah. XQC, I think, talked about it a little bit. I think Caroline talked about it a little bit. A few people talked about it. The person that had caused the problem, I will just show the post that shows QTcinderella talking about it. Brogan spilled all the tea. I know she did. I'm giving the tea for people who missed it. She was talking about it on Fear and Pod. I don't know how many people saw it on Fear and Pod.
To create, but then something that's very personal that I'm not trying to create any unnecessary drama here, but Minx attended the after party and got kicked out and inevitably got the party shut down because it was in a residential neighborhood. And I want to unpack some things here. I personally, and I don't want this to become a rag on Minx segment, it's not going to be that. I have personally done everything in my ability.
Sorry. I missed out on some context. To be clear, the person who did this, it was Minx. And like, to be clear, chat, I'm gonna say this really quickly. Please don't go harass her. Please don't go harass Minx. She needs help. Okay? Like, please don't. You're not helping. You're not. Okay? Just anyone, if you are unless you know her personally, please do not, because you are not helping the situation. You're not helping the scenario. Cutie had told Minx, I am willing to let you come to the Streamer Awards, but you have to promise me you're not going to drink anything. You have to promise me you are not going to drink any alcohol at the party. And these were logs that Cutie had posted, but she had deleted. It was in this original thread, but they're deleted now. And Minx told her that I would not drink. And she did. She was drinking at the Streamer Awards. That's a really fucked up thing to do to a friend. For a friend to tell you, like, seriously, this is like last chance. I need you to not do this. And then you do it. It's really fucked up to do. It's really fucked up to betray someone like that. And Cutie saw that Minx was really drunk, because she was very drunk at the party, or not even at the party. She saw that she was drunk at the event. She was drunk at the Streamer Awards. Cutie saw that and she was like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to let this night continue and we're just going to move on. Okay. The tweet said, I was 100% certain that was the worst seizure I've had since I was 15. I'm still struggling to regain memory from even yesterday. And this was a tweet from Minx talking about the fact that she says, and I'm not going to say what happened or didn't happen. I wasn't there. I left before this happened, or I left like as this was happening and my Uber was like there. So I was like, I'm just going to hop on my Uber. Minx claims that she was having a seizure. And again, I'm not saying that happened or didn't happen. Okay. And someone else responds saying, I hope you're okay, but you did still get drunk after you promised people you wouldn't, and that could have helped. And she says, I assumed getting drunk at the after party would have been fine. It clearly was not. And Cutie says, go fuck yourself. You were drunk before the after party. I almost had you thrown out of the show because you were yelling and making everyone uncomfortable. Completely. I've tried everything with you. Rehab, everything. I hope this is your rock bottom. Get help. And then Cutie posted these logs of Minx saying, I already bought front row tickets. The day you announced that I won't drink, I will just sit and applaud your Streamer Awards 2 years running, my girl. in a man's world. And Cutie says, you can come sit on the floor, because for people who didn't know, there was a floor for streamers, and then above there were also streamers, but audience members. And the audience, it was full segregation. The audience was on top and the floor was on the bottom. So here Minx is saying, I will go sit with the audience members, and Cutie's saying, it's okay. You can sit on the floor with everyone else, with all the other streamers, no segregation. You have to promise me you won't drink. And I mean promise. And she says, pinky swear. Nothing. Completely sober, which really sucks because immediately at the event she started drinking, which is just really, really sad. It's really sad to like in both positions, to be the person letting someone else down and to be the person being let down. They had wine on the floor. There were people that you could order drinks from. It was all like, it was an open bar, but during the event, like any of the servers, you could just call them over and be like, hey, can I get a block? I mean, I did it myself. I mean, I drank at the event. I got 3 vodka and Cokes, so I was drinking at the event. I'm not going to be like, like drinking is bad or whatever. That's not what I'm claiming. But if you make a promise to someone that you won't drink, did they not have wristbands? They had wristbands. You had to have the 21 or older wristband. Vodka and Coke is a thing? Yeah. You guys don't like Coca-Cola? I wanted a Midori sour, but they didn't have any. So I just got, no, not cocaine. No, just Coca-Cola. Vodka and Coke just tastes bad to me. So I had a vodka and Coke at the after party and it was ass. But the ones at the Streamer Awards were so good. I don't know. They must have been putting something different in there. That guy he was hooking me up. He got me some good shit. He got me some good shit. And I was like the perfect level of like drink. Like, when you're just the right level of like drinking where you're like, yes, I feel good. That's where I was at. Probably a little bit less vodka. Yeah, I mean, obviously. So he had the ratio correct. That guy had the ratio correct. I presume that there were drinks going to Minx's table and she drank them because she was drunk after she promised not to drink. And I will let Cutie pick up the rest.
Help this woman. I have tried everything. She has been my friends.
This is Cutie talking about her experience. So before I do that, I want to say that like what happened was that she drank at the original Streamer Awards, which she wasn't supposed to do according to her promise. And then she showed up at the after party drunk, and then she got more drunk, and she got so drunk that she started trying to push people into the pool and trying to throw like propane tanks into the pool and just generally being like a disturbance. And so security tries to take her out, and then this is what Cutie said. I wasn't there for this. I am only repeating what QTcinderella said. So just to be clear, Cutie said that she made her body as limp as possible so that security would have a harder time moving her. And when they started getting some traction, she ran away and then did it again. And then they had to try doing this again. And they finally got her off the porch. That's when Minx's friend called an ambulance. And then the party was shut down because of this, because it became a public disturbance. Everybody had to leave. And this happened literally minutes after Cutie had showed up to the party. Because I was at the party since the beginning. I went straight from the Streamer Awards to the after party. Oh, Saikuno said she tried getting in the pool and he stopped her, not pushing him. Okay, I was only repeating what I heard. So that's not, like, I'm not saying what happened or didn't happen. I'm just repeating what other people have said. The saddest thing is Cutie has this super stressful night. She doesn't even get to watch her own award show. She doesn't even get to enjoy her own award show. And then she finally gets to go to this after party, which she feels obligated to throw, because if someone is going to host a Streamer Awards after party, she would rather it be her than some other person, and then her event becomes ruined because of it. So from what Cutie described, she was concerned that if someone else threw some unofficial after party and something bad happened at that after party, that everyone would associate it with the Streamer Awards. And so she was like, I would rather just host the party myself and have it be controlled and have my security and my people and know whether or not bad shit has happened. So that way there is no besmirchment on the name of the Streamer Awards. And she threw $50,000 at this party, and she shows up, she's there for minutes, and the party's getting shut down. I probably would have bawled for like hours. I'm going to speak on just like myself and my own behaviors and stuff. I've talked about this a little bit with you guys. When stream crashes for me, chat, I literally start crying. It causes me extreme, like I take streaming very, very, very seriously. When stream crashes, it like literally causes me emotional distress. If the internet goes off, I will start crying about it. It makes me really sad to like be on a really good streak. If the stream was almost over, I don't care as much. But when I'm like 2 hours into the stream, which is prime stream time, prime energy, and I feel amazing, and then it crashes, and then I turn the stream back on and like half the people aren't there anymore, it like literally, it makes me, I've cried about it before. I can't imagine having an event that I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to host, that I spent months planning, dealing with content creators, which are the worst. Streamers are the worst people to work around because they never, ever, ever, ever respond on time. Myself included. I'm really bad at it. Every every single streamer is really bad at it. So I spend all this time planning. I put all this money into this event. I put all this time and effort and energy and love into this event. And then there are technical difficulties with the event. The stream is like the audio isn't working. The sound mixing isn't working. And you have to stay strong. You have to stay strong the entire time because you can't let your confidence be shattered before the event is over. Just that alone would make me fucking like tear up, like seeing audio problems occurring. I get like stressed when there's audio problems on just my normal stream days. And then when you're finally done, you're like finally like, oh my God, the event is over. Let me go to the after party, say hi to some people, say hi to some friends, thank everyone who showed up, enjoy some drinks and relax. And you show up and the party gets canceled. As you show up, you've barely said hi to anyone and everyone is leaving. I would have like, fuck crying. I'm sure Cutie was crying. I would have like I would have seen blood. I just would have been so sad. I would have been so sad. I was watching Cutie rewatching the awards and taking notes of everything to fix and improve. She was noting how hectic it all was and how upset she got when things weren't working properly. If Cutie is anything like me on this regard, which it seems like she is so strong. She is so strong for staying emotionally sturdy during that. Because I wouldn't have been. I would have been like a mess. Like I literally would have just started crying when the first audio problem happened. I would have been like, I don't understand. Like, I paid all these people and they're supposed to do their job and they're not fucking doing their job. Like, what is the problem? Like, what is going on? Like, I would have been, and like, that's your one stream a year that you get like 500,000 viewers and it's not working. Like, that would be so hard for me to deal with. I can't imagine what it was like for her. She is so strong to deal with that shit. So anyways, this is her talking about it. And this is her talking about like everything. And I don't want to put any words in her mouth. I just want to let her talk about it.
But then something that's very personal that I'm not trying to create any unnecessary drama here, but Minx attended the after party and got kicked out and inevitably got the party shut down because it was in a residential neighborhood. And I want to unpack some things here. I personally, and I don't want this to become a rag on Minx segment, it's not going to be that. I have personally done everything in my ability to help this woman. I have tried everything. She has been my friends for years up until a point last year when she had pushed me past my boundaries where I had to say, hey, like, this is too much for me. This is unhealthy for me. You are destructive to me. And so I had to walk away, but I have tried everything. I've spent time, money. I've tried everything. So I've tried everything. So I don't want people to think this is lack of trying. I think if you've watched my content, you've seen Minx and I used to be very close, and now I've separated myself from her completely. However, this is a person that I did used to care about, even though I do feel as though I've lost her. I don't recognize her anymore as a human. Not like as a human, but I'm saying like she's not the same person when I talk to her. I do not know what happened, and I am someone that suffers from mental health issues. I am not kidding you when I say I've tried to do everything. And anyway, she reaches out to me out of the blue a few weeks ago and brings up Streamer Awards. And I have a moment where I think, you know what? This is, again, a person I really have cared about for so many years. I'm going to give her another chance. And I said, Minx, because she told me she bought tickets for the balcony. I said, Minx, you can come sit on the floor with all the other streamers. You have to promise me one thing. And she was like, what? Anything. And I said, do not drink. Be completely sober. You need to promise me this. Like, promise me. And she was like, I promise I'll do anything. I was like, great. And like, I was like, genuinely, like, I will show you the messages multiple times, me just saying, I'm not kidding. Promise me. And I promise. I said, completely sober. I promise. Like, she promised me over and over again. Anyway, I get to the party. She's wasted because she's trying to throw heaters into the pool. And then. Which
is bad.
Is a bad thing. Yeah.
Heaters?
The big propane.
The big gas heaters, like the ones that are like 7 feet, 8 feet
She was
tall.
trying to put those in the pool. I heard she was trying to throw Sykkuno in the pool.
Yeah, and people she was trying to run in the pool.
Is a bad thing.
Also
It's
bad.
a bad thing.
Also bad.
And so I'm being told that like security's handling it, and I'm like, you know what? I have to deal with this other problem, so hopefully security handles it. Apparently, upon walking her out, she went limp with the intention of making it harder to kick her out. You know, dead body weight is much harder to that. And in doing so, then
tactical.
Tactical. Some other stuff happens. All of a sudden, she's just laying on the ground, limp, and no longer cooperating and getting removed from the party. Now her friend that is with her is very concerned. Obviously, now I'm getting concerned because this is someone's safety. And we're trying to figure out, does she need an Uber home? Does she need an Uber to an emergency room? What should we do? By the time I get called out there, they're telling me the party needs to be shut down because since she's in the front yard, neighbors are starting to come out because it's causing a scene. And I'm saying, I have to make sure she's okay, but also like, I don't know what's going on. Her friend, unbeknownst to me, called 911. So then in this residential neighborhood, a fire truck comes pulling out, an ambulance, police cars, and they have to close the party. So by 11 o'clock, my after party that I spent thousands of dollars on to celebrate my friends is closed down. The thing that I wanted to do to finally relax and thank these people for coming and just like kind of celebrate this thing that we all just did together.
This is basically like how I feel. I don't blame Cutie. She has to live her life. Minx needs Stereo's help, and I'm pulling for her. She's been to rehab once already, yeah. And like, I've already said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Like, please do not go and harass Minx. Like, you doing this is not helping her. Please don't. There is a difference between someone who was her friend speaking out about this and saying what they said. And I have one more clip to explain it.
Oh, complaining about money over someone's health. It's just the sad, like the disappointment I have in somebody who promised me better and then ruined my night after everything that I have done for everybody and what I've done for them specifically was very sad. This is the behind the scenes on why a bunch of people today are like quote retweeting that I've unfollowed her on Twitter. This sounds dramatic, but I can't have someone like that in my life. I've tried everything. She is blocked on every platform I have. I am no longer interested in having contact with this person or taking chances with this person because I've done everything. I can't do it anymore. So, I don't know how to help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
And then this is like XQC talking about the situation.
How it goes, is it not? I'm pretty sure like the fire trucks get there first, but she was just completely unresponsive, right? Before the dudes get there and starting, doing their thing. Well, I sat down and I tried to be like, yo, are you there? And try to connect and see if she's around, like there. And I'm telling you, she just wasn't. It was just GG. Okay, there's no saving it. It was just like, when you're drunk, right? Well, that's like almost about to go into a coma. Just come in and respond. I mean, she's breathing, but she's just not there, man. And then dudes get there, and then they sit her down. So I don't know what is it about the seizure thing. I guess I don't know how seizures work, but from what I've seen when I got there, I was there from the moment that she was on the ground to whenever they took her out in the stretcher. Okay.
Yeah, guys, I didn't know Minx happened. Yeah, she didn't. People were asking me. They're like, did she try and throw you in the pool and kill you? And I was like, no.
Okay, everyone come.
I don't think that didn't happen to me.
Listen to my call. All right, please.
I think there's probably a weird like telephone thing that happened because this is my experience with the show. Basically, I was chilling by the pool with Connor, and Minx just wanted to go swimming. I think she was just drank too much probably. And she said she wanted to go swimming. So me and Connor just grabbed her and made her not jump in the pool.
Don't do anything.
And maybe from like far away, it would maybe someone thought it looked like she was trying to get us in the pool. And then it just seemed to me like she just drank a lot.
Wow, what a fancy name.
Yeah.
Taking this.
So, I don't know what happened. I definitely was not in any danger. I think it was just a weird game of telephone, perchance.
We're gonna go heaven here.
Because it just seemed like she drank a lot.
This is a lot of people were quote tweeting and like subtweeting Cutie and saying like, why'd you go public with this? Why would you do this? Like, this is a terrible thing to do. And she explains it here. She explains why she went public with everything right here.
I can't tell you how many tears I have cried over losing someone who was my best friend.
Why are people upset that their friend got drunk? I don't get it. People are upset that someone got drunk because she has an addiction problem. Cutie told her to promise her not to drink. That was the major stipulation. You are allowed to come if you don't drink. And she broke that promise and she drank anyways. And then she got the party canceled. The party got shut down literally because of her drinking. A party that Cutie didn't even get to enjoy yet. One that she put her resources into, that she was excited to go to. I'm sorry, if I just spent like a whole night. She was doing that stream for like 5 hours or something. And then I finally get to go enjoy my after party that I booked, that I spent $50,000 of my own money. And as soon as I show up to the party, it's canceled because the person who I told them not to drink was causing a disturbance and they caused the party to get canceled. Yeah, I would care about that personally. If you don't, then like, I don't know, go become Jesus or something. 50K and no security. I'm obviously unaware, but the whole thing seems unnecessary. How about you just go back into the VOD and just watch it? Because you are the biggest, most annoying type of chatter. The type of chatter that talks about things that they have no idea what they're talking about. You're the type of person that when someone tells you they're having an anxiety attack, you tell them like, what? Because you're nervous for a test. Get over it. There was security. The security kicked her out, and then she got an ambulance called for her that caused a public disturbance. Second of all, it wasn't unnecessary. She had a reason for hosting the party. I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. Let's not be too hard on her. She clearly has a problem and she will no doubt be feeling the after effects of all this. Last thing we want is to push her drink to manage the problems. Yeah, and I've said this before. It is very different for you to be a friend that has dealt with an alcoholic or someone with addiction in their life, and for you to cut that person off is a very different thing to be a random chatter. No offense to anyone in here, and to start harassing this person. It's very different. It's very, very different.
I can't tell you how many tears I have cried over losing someone who was my best friend to this. Genuinely. Over the past year, you can't look at her in the face. There's not the same person there. She's been lost and gone. I have tried everything. I mean everything. I got together a group for an intervention and then got the rehab, got family involved. I've tried fucking everything. She doesn't want the help. I've tried handling it privately. It hasn't done anything. So I am just hoping that maybe all of this will finally make her realize that she needs to get help and she can't keep using excuses.
I think I saw a lot of people being like, why is this public? Like, it's weird that you're making this public. It's weird that you're making this public. And I think if you're genuinely concerned for another person's well-being and everything you've tried is not working, and you think that it's literally your last resort to tell them like, no, this is not okay. You need help and I'm going to make sure that you get it. People would always tell her to drink more when she was drinking on stream. Yeah. I have a person close to me that is an alcoholic. It took them almost dying for them to want to change. And before, like, again, I need to drill this point. Okay. I need to drill this point home, every chatter in here. Okay, this is literally a last ditch effort by Cutie to encourage Minx to seek help. Yeah, this is the most basic forehead take, and some people don't get it somehow.
I don't freaking know what it is. I don't know her that well. I'm close to her, but I don't know the extent of her problems because I've tried reaching out for help a million times and I can't do it's just, there's just a point where you just can't do anything. What I'm trying to say is she's already someone who's in pain, and if you want to tell her like, hey, I'm not gonna be in your life anymore until you get better, that's a good thing. You should do that. You should tell an addict like, hey, I'm not gonna be in your life anymore until you get better. That's a good thing. That's you establishing boundaries. Now you as a viewer going on and telling her and attacking her and like commenting on things online, like that does not help anyone. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I just worry about her and I don't want her to,
like, again, like this is such a basic take, and yet there are people that don't get it. You as a viewer, you as someone who doesn't know her, you as someone who doesn't know anything about these people. I mean, for fuck, like I don't even know anything about these people. And that's why I'm not really gonna, like, I know these people, they're in my sphere. I'm mutuals with some of these people. I can actually comment on some of the things. I was there. And even I am like, you know, I hope everything gets better, and I am going to try and cover it in a way that is as neutral as possible, and I'm only going to try and amplify Cutie's voice and talk about it. Please do not go to
if
her
only
post.
chatters brought the same energy to politics and harass politicians instead of streamers.
Right? Like, literally, please just, you know, and it's also not even harassing your politician. It's called a public servant for a reason. You should be bothering them. Minx literally almost gave Cutie a heart attack in Vegas. She talked about it on Wine About It. I didn't even know that. Sometimes the secret is the problem. My grandpa was an alcoholic and nobody talked about his issues until after he died. That's so sad. As someone who has been on the Minx side of things, I appreciate your coverage of this. What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, what are you on about? Bunch of control freaks with a fucking innocent drunk. Telling an alcoholic they can't drink is control freak bullshit. Addiction is normal. Controlling assholes are not. What the the fuck are you talking about? Do you drink coffee? You know the difference? The difference is that coffee doesn't make you so zooted that you start throwing things in pools. The difference is that you don't end up getting the ambulance called on you because you're so drunk you can't move. You can drink as much coffee as you want, and chances are you're just gonna have a bad bathroom visit. Because everyone's been there. Everyone's had that day where they're like, I need some coffee. I have a lot of work to do. Coffee. And then like 6 p.m. you're like, oh no, I made a terrible mistake. Nobody walk into the bathroom for the next 20 hours, please. The addiction isn't the entire problem. The damage she caused due to the addiction is the problem. Exactly. This dude obviously just recognizes himself in Minx and doesn't want to come to terms with it either. Yeah. Also, yeah, the fact that you are not supposed to drink and drive, but you can drink coffee and drive should tell you everything you need to know about what drinking alcohol does to your body. Are you claiming that alcoholics are it's so out of their control that they can't even make promises? Is that the claim that you're making? That if someone is an alcoholic, you just don't trust them? You don't think that's infantilizing? You don't think it's infantilizing to tell your friend, you have to promise me not to drink, and you trust them on that? Take a fucking time out, bro. This is the problem with chatters. It's like they always list off shit that nobody's talking about. No one said that she needs to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. People said she needs to go to rehab. AA and rehab are not the same thing, you chimpanzee-brained motherfucker. Everybody knows AA is not that great. AA is you can't afford rehab, but you need something else. You can't ask an alcoholic not to drink, though. You can't let that kind of person come to an event until they show real growth. Makes it in the wrong, but I think the situation could have been avoided. Yeah, but you can't blame Cutie for wishing that her friend could control herself. You know what I mean? You can't blame Cutie for being like, hey, I'm gonna trust you. I can trust you, right? You're my friend. You wouldn't lie to me? Oh, you're not. Okay. And for all the people being like, well, she should have drawn the line before. That was literally the last olive branch. That was it. And then she stopped. And then she was like, nope, that's it. I can't trust you. Everyone would have done the same. Everyone in here who has a close friend or a best friend would have said like, you've always been a good friend to me. You wouldn't lie to me. I'm telling you to make me this promise. You can make me the promise, right? And every single one of us would have fallen for it. We would have fallen for the pinky swear. Okay. And then we would have drawn the boundary after that. We would have been like, that's it. I can't. I just can't. You can't blame her for trying. I would have put that out there. I know people have gone to AA and it's helped. Not saying it's going to work. Cutie's not an addiction counselor. She would not have known that telling her not to drink wouldn't work or not be healthy. She's just like a friend. That's all she was doing. She was just trying to be a friend. AA is just a willpower-based solution. Rehab takes away the need for willpower, at least until you're done. Giving Cutie grief over this kind of sounds victim blamey. She wanted her friend to be there. Yeah. She just wanted her friend to be there. She wanted her to know that her friend could manage that. And what, she should be punished for trying to be a good friend, you know? Also, yeah, cutting on people off is really hard. It's so hard. The mental stress that it causes to like have a person in your life and then suddenly not have them anymore. Again, and just one more thing. Anyone blaming Cutie or anyone blaming Minx, just stop. We don't need to blame anyone, okay? I think that there is some blame to be assigned just in regards to breaking that promise, to saying that you wouldn't drink and then drinking. You did something wrong there. And not because you drank, but because you broke the promise not to drink. This friend who also works in the same space as you, yeah. And like, oh my God, please, like all the people enabling like Minx's behavior by saying that like, well, she's Irish, that's what they do. You are crazy, dude. There are plenty of Irish people who know how to have a good time, who know how to drink and have fun and don't become fucking alcoholics, okay? Just because you're Irish doesn't mean you're a fucking alcoholic. People actually say that? Yes. Please stop. You are not helping her get better. Please fucking stop. Please. I'm Irish. I quit drinking 10 years ago. Red beard and everything. I just wanted to cover that really briefly because I've just been seeing a lot of people, which is like terrible takes everywhere on the internet, which is really sad. You know, it's really sad. Like, please don't. Please be respectful. And again, please remember that if you're not helping, stop. Okay? If you're not helping, just stop. If you are going into someone else's DMs or someone else's replies and being like, you're a terrible friend, blah, blah, blah. How dare you're not helping anyone. These are real people with real human feelings, okay? I've dealt with alcohol abuse in my own family, and the best thing to do is focus on your self-preservation. I've relapsed several times before I got sober. It took 5 years, like over and over again. It's always easy to talk as outsiders. People forget that Cutie and Minx were very close friends for years. It's hard to throw away friendship like that. Yeah. The whole addiction conversation always shows how little some empathy some people have. It's crazy that the addiction conversations, like there's always people that are going to be like, wow, so because she broke your boundaries, ruined your event. Oh, so let me get this straight. Because she did this, now you're going to cut her out of your life. Real friend you are. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the other people who are like, wow, you're literally an alcoholic. You know what? You're the worst type of person on the planet. It's like, what are you talking about? This is just someone who needs help that made a mistake. What is wrong with you people? And I'm not saying anyone in chat here is doing it or has done it. I'm just saying like the takes I've seen on Twitter, just stop. For real, people hate addicts or like completely cover for them by projecting their own addiction. It's really sad. And when you talk to addicts, they will tell you like every addict is different, okay? Every single addict, like you don't know what are the words that you have to say to get an addict to stop. So all you can do is at the very least set your own boundaries and protect yourself, because you can only give so many chances to someone. Just because it's the same opinion that I have about mental illness. If you have mental illness and it causes you to engage in some erratic behavior, or it causes you to treat people unfairly or poorly, you are still responsible for the consequences of your action. If you have any mental illness, you are still responsible. And other people should not have fantasized you because of this. If other people are like, this is unacceptable behavior, this is my boundary, I'm sorry, I can't, and you can't match that boundary, I'm sorry, it is what it is. My life got so much better when I realized that, yeah. And I'm not saying like, oh, just get over your mental illness. Oh, just get over it. You know, like I'm not saying that. Mental illness is difficult to deal with. It's really, really, really difficult to deal with, okay? But you should try and seek whatever help you need so that you can stop engaging in this behavior. Just because you have BPD doesn't mean that you have to be someone that breaks other people's boundaries. Just because you have depression doesn't mean that you are allowed to just cancel on people last minute. If you know you're severely depressed and it's hard for you to get out of bed, don't make promises that you can't keep. Recognize, I need to fix my depression. I need to fix this, which is hard to do. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying there is no part of me that is saying that it's easy. It's actually very hard, but other people still deserve respect. You don't get to just cop out behind that every time. If you know that you commit certain behaviors over and over and over again, you're still responsible for those behaviors. Anytime I make a promise and I don't keep my promise, I try and keep that in my mind, because I recognize in the future, like, okay, I need to be careful about making promises similar to this because I know I have a tendency to break them. Like, just recognize like all of the things that you have a tendency to do and then try and act accordingly, or at least give people some appropriate disclaimer. It's also fine to say that I am not equipped to help you with this. It may also be the person struggling to understand the gravity of their situation. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like, alcoholics don't behave rationally. Minx could have fully believed that she wouldn't drink when she promised, but if you have an addiction, you seriously cannot trust that person to react rationally. I'm happy that there will be boundaries set. Yeah. Like, the only thing you can do when you are dealing with someone else with addictions is try as hard as you can. And when that doesn't work, set boundaries, because you did everything you could, you know? If you did everything you could and it wasn't enough, it's out of your control at that point. And it's sad. It's really sad. You know how sad it is to fucking lose a friend? I just wanted to talk about this because at the very least, I know I'm not going to be able to control everyone on the internet, and that's never going to happen. But at the very least, if I could just tell everyone in here, you know, and make sure that we're all on the same page and be on the same page and say that, like, don't be another person in the pile of people that's just being an asshole. Don't be another person that is not making the problem better. Just recognize that this is out of your hands. It's not in your realm. Send your regards and just hope that it gets better. Don't harass any of the people. Don't send any shitty messages to any of these people involved. Yeah, be part of the solution, not the problem.